And this is another episode of the Express Lane Podcast with
Kevin Stan. What's going on? We got the band Monty with us here today. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Just into the microphone, please. It makes it easier on Stan when he edits the whole thing.
Definitely a lot easier for me.
Yes.
So if you want to say something, just grab the mic from your dad.
True.
Anybody.
Which I hope you're going to be doing a lot during this podcast.
Well, I'm on the left of you, so I got my mic already.
So how's it going? A lot of new stuff since you guys last were on. Now you're in the band Monty, and you are playing everywhere again, like all of these places, like killing it. So what's going on?
Chuck? Oh, thanks. Okay. I don't know. We've just been playing. We've been getting our gigs. We've been actually pretty busy, which is nice. You know, we've been playing like 2-3 times a month. Besides January. January we kind of had off because, I don't know, the holidays and, you know, whatever. But we played New Year's, and that was fun. And then we had February, we had a couple gigs. And then March, we played 2 already, right? And then we have 1 coming up. And then April, May.
Well, New Year's was at the Ribby, right?
Yeah,
And
that
you
was
had
at the
everybody
Ribby
dress
House.
up all
Yeah.
fancy and everything.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was a fun
Great
one.
Gatsby New Year party.
It was great.
I think it was
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Oh,
Yeah,
Goodfellas,
it was
okay.
Yeah. Which is so hard for us.
to pull off, you know?
Exactly. But yeah,
You know, it was a packed house.
You
for
don't
New
look the
Year's.
part.
but yeah, well, we have more stuff coming up during the spring and the summer, and we're excited to get to it. So can't wait.
Awesome. Kev?
Yeah, I guess. I'm giving it to
Jump
me.
you, dude.
So what, like, how are you playing the same old spots, or you've been playing anywhere new? Like, how's
And you're the
So-
social media person, right?
Yeah, me and Ava kind of tag team it. Ava D. Fury, but so we're playing a lot of the same spots, but also we have some new spots that we're super excited about, like the Water Tower, which we're playing April 13th. April 13th. I almost said the 5th, but that's a big one in Oaks.
And that's over by Arnold's, or it is part of Arnold's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And we have some surprises for that gig, so we're really excited. Some special guests.
Yeah, we got some stuff cooking up. Well, it'll be real good.
no teasers? We can't break any news here on the pod.
No. Y'all just gotta come and wait.
It'll
Have
just
to
be the
come and
best
see.
show we ever had. We'll just say that.
All right.
No pressure.
Our next gig, I think, is Creekside, right?
Creekside at the 29th. Yeah.
29th. And then April 5th, we're at Screwballs. No? April 5th, we're at Peppers. Then Water Tower the 13th. And then 20th, we're at Screwballs.
Yeah.
That's
So-
awesome.
Damn.
We're going. It's been fun. It's been
It's picking up. I'm surprised how quickly it's picking up because we're starting over, you know. And it's great.
Yeah, but it's nice. I mean, the turnouts, like, I've only been to 2 shows, I think. And, I mean, you've got just as much of an audience. Like, everybody's showing up for you. Like, every time I go there, it's like same old people. Like, oh, what's up?
It's
It's
incredible.
awesome.
It,
Yeah, we're
it's
so
growing.
grateful.
It's growing too. You know, you'd be surprised. All these people come out. It's like playing for so long over the years. Like that's not like a normalcy. That's not something that always happens. So we're very grateful for all the support, everybody coming out and just being there for the family. It's cool, man. It's really cool. It's just. You know, I'm thinking it's going to be a hard road ahead, but you know, we're getting there little by little. We're inching, and we're doing different things also, different styles of music. We're stretching out a little bit different than we've done before,
Okay, so
and some of the staples. I mean, the ones we're not, you know, our genres, but we're pushing it for in different ways. And all right, let this almost be the last part I talk. We're you know, as consensus here, we're trying to bring to the venue, not just the backroom, you know, background noise band that gets people up and all. We want to entertain them. We're taking it as like almost like a review, you know, like or something to that effect. Where we're really entertaining, like a show,
Okay.
a show. And it's,
costume changes and the whole deal.
Hey, listen, when it comes to that, it will happen. That's what we got to do it. But these guys are they're very creative, and they have a lot of ideas and we're taking chances. We're taking chances for the people, so that you have people coming in to these venues that have everything on their back. Whatever it may be, everybody got something that's bothering them, and we have a chance for 3 hours to maybe have a chance to make them forget about that for a little bit. And that's like our goal with really trying to entertain the people. I'm not knocking a bar band. I'm just saying we're approaching it in a different way. And it's these guys. They're doing that. That's their idea.
Well, if you're saying you're getting people coming out, sounds like it's working. That you're more than just background noise, like you were saying. That people are really coming out to see the band and what you guys are all doing.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It's just like if we could just bring, like he said, like if we could just bring the joy to people. You got your job done there, So.
Yeah.
And I think it is pretty interesting. Like when the past couple shows that we've had, people have been up dancing, like so much fun. But it's like do you want to say?
It's like a little bit different than before. Like it's more of like an audience that it's not bad. It's just different than what we're used to. It's like
it's like an adjustment because I feel like now we're playing a little bit of a different music style. So it's like not all of it is getting people up and dancing, but yeah, people are like watching. And for us, we had to like adjust because we were like, okay, like, are they liking it? Are they not liking it? We're like, this is a new song. We're like,
sorry.
I'm like, you just have to, it's one of those things where we're like, how is it? But people are like watching. You see them watching, and they're like moving in their seat, but they're just like almost observing. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'm like, like, are we doing something wrong? Yeah. But then we get off, and everyone's like, oh my god, and we get such a good response. So
it's so true. That's what I want to say. It's like we're sitting back, and I'm like looking at Chuck like. Are these people paying attention? like really, it's like it's a different thing. They're like sitting back and taking it in. But then when we hit the dance songs, they come right up. But it's a different. The energy's different, and it's kind of a good energy.
We do play like different music though.
So what are some of the new songs that are part of the repertoire now?
Like you do Voodoo Child and stuff. Like,
okay,
like it's more like that stuff is more like for show. Like, you know what I mean? Like not everybody's just ripping Jimi Hendrix.
And I mean that's super impressive. Like how
Thank you.
How long have you been playing?
I've been playing. It's been 4 years now.
Like I don't know much about music, but that's a hard song to play, right?
I mean, just getting like the character of it.
Yeah,
and
then
makes sense,
getting people to agree, like, oh, all right, are we watching him do Voodoo Child?
Yeah, exactly. I'm always like so nervous before I do it because it's like it's such a staple. Like a lot of people covered that. And they tried to. Some did really good. Some didn't do well. So it's like I'm trying to do good, but also it's kind of tribute to like those guys that did it, like Jimmy and Stevie, that like made it prominent. Like that's my tribute to them, and like I want to make sure I'm doing them justice, not just anybody in the room or myself. I got those are names I have to live up to in a way. Like I got to give them justice and do it and serve them in a way, So.
And also, another thing is Chuck's over here like we'll have rehearsal, and we don't always practice the songs that we're like okay with. We're like, okay, we don't need to go through this. Next song we'll do.
Playing for a long time.
Yeah, and it's just like one of those things where you can tell that the crowd is receiving it as like a show because Chuck will play Voodoo Child, and then all of a sudden he's like lifting the guitar, playing it with his teeth. We're like, where did this come from? We're like, what are you doing? And obviously it's so sick, but people aren't gonna stand
Chuck
there
is
and dance to that. They're like.
He's notorious for pulling stuff out without telling anybody.
So that doesn't ever come out in rehearsal.
No. Rehearsal, we're all like tired.
Chuck just pulled it out. We're all looking at each other like, where's this dude come up with this?
But also, I feel like you do that because you're like, gotta make it interesting. Let me, like he likes to entertain. That's
what Jimi Hendrix used to do.
Well, yeah, but it's just like we've never practiced it. He's just like.
Sorry, when we did that at Eagleville, I thought I was gonna die. I almost had to stop playing. I was like, "Where is he going with this, man?" But it's cool. It was cool.
The people like it.
Yeah, they liked it.
So you just got to watch out if he shows up with a can of lighter fluid.
Yeah. then we do Kiss. No, I'm kidding. But you know, like Chuck was saying, the one thing that like I can appreciate about my kids here, right, is that they appreciate the greats. You know, there's not much pop current music that we're playing. Not much. And they go to the classics. And I was telling a patient of mine that came out to see us, right, at Eagleville, and I said, my kids play this music not just for showmanship, but to give the credit and the respect to the guys who came before them. I said, that's why Chuck does that stuff with the guitar and you know, the way Joe's singing and the way Michaela handles the songs. It's like these guys set it up for us in a way, you know, that we're able to do these classics. Like, these are great songs, right? So, you know, we play the songs okay, yes, we like to put our stamp on it. It's fun. We're doing it as a family. We have a great chemistry. But it's also like, you know, these are the guys that taught us in a way. And
that's what
I
people
love
come
that. I love that.
That's what people come to see. Like that's why everybody likes when you do your little thing, or you'll pass the mic around to everybody, or you'll have Ava come on, or you'll have the little sister come on. Like, that's the stuff people come out like. It's like a little surprise because I mean you can just play those songs on the radio or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but you guys are doing it live and then you're mixing it up and you're adding stuff. That's probably the best part of going to see you guys.
That's cool. Awesome.
And Aunt D will be up there dancing every time.
She don't miss,
Awesome.
man.
She does not miss, man.
One of our biggest fans.
Definitely our biggest fan.
I think. What else do we play new? Voodoo Child. We play
Rockin' Me. Joe sings
Closer
Rockin'
to
Me
the
by
Heart.
Steve Miller. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we're-
Closer
we're
to the
doing
Heart.
Some Rush. Yeah.
Good Times. We do.
Oh yeah. By
Chuck does his
Cheek.
little rap.
Yeah. Rap a little bit.
We
Yeah.
do.
We Disco Inferno.
Disco
That's
Inferno.
another good one. I mean, we just
We do a
kinda-
lot of new stuff. It's
Welcome to the Jungle. We,
Yeah, Welcome
we
to-
start with on a third set. That's a really good one. Kills that.
I'll give
like
a little
even,
sneak peek. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Even Flow.
Yeah,
That's
even
another good
Pearl
one that
Jam.
we do. We gotta keep doing our punk rock or whatever.
It's called alternative, please. Dude, that's Gen X right there. Remember where you got the influence of that from?
They play that on MGK. It's classic rock at this point.
Boo! I don't want to hear classic. Wait, my
They're-
back hurts. I'm getting old. I need a Geritol.
What about when I was helping you guys pack up about that dude that did the magic tricks for us? Was that
Oh,
weird?
that was crazy.
That was so weird.
He came to our shows before. I think we know him. Somebody knows us. I don't know how he did that though. It was crazy.
I thought he was friends with Russ. I was like,
No.
I didn't know that guy for anything.
He came to our shows. He came to our shows before, but I think he's
Yeah.
a friend of somebody we know.
After he got done with us, I had to check my credit score.
Everybody had their watches and
Yeah, I was
wallets
like, what?
afterwards.
Did
You
he
didn't-
swipe up on me? Now I got a $2,000 hit on my credit card. He was
so weird.
He was good.
It was very good, yeah.
awesome.
He liked you too, Stan.
I
He was
don't-
Like, I think Jules or who said it? Someone was like, "Oh, you're talking to me." He's like, "No." He's like,
Oh,
"No."
get him on the podcast.
If I knew him,
I was confused when he was like, "Oh, I lost the cards." I didn't know if that was his gimmick or did he actually lose the cards because he was looking for like
Yeah,
was-
2
was-
minutes.
That
Yeah.
was the versions.
yeah.
He was looking.
I was
He was
watching
looking.
that dude like I still could. He was great.
Whenever anybody does those card tricks, like
Yeah.
who's the kid, the Strange Tangelo?
Santangelo.
Santangelo.
CJ.
Yeah, his
yeah.
kid does the card tricks, and every time I'm like, I'm not gonna figure this out. Just do your trick. It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just not smart enough to see.
He does
the
that
sleight of
little
hand.
jump trick with the card where like put like the crumpled one and like push it up.
It's
Yeah,
so
That
cool.
gets me every time. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. Like
My favorite part was the guy's wife. Let's go.
She was at the door. And then he
Oh,
come
she
back
probably
and said,
seen
"Do
it a
more."
million times.
Well, yeah. He probably does that every time they go out. Yeah.
She's still like,
It is
Turn
funny.
around.
That was funny. Some of the people that you run into is crazy.
It was so funny.
But the one thing that we've been blessed with is that I've said this before, but we have a community of good. Like, I never thought in my 50s that I would have such new, very good, loyal friends. Really, for real. They come out of the woodwork. If they ain't playing, they're seeing us. If we ain't playing, we're going to see them. And it's like a high school clique without the baloney, without the craziness. So such nice people, and they they invest in my kids and like Apple and that crew. Like I see him last night. He said, if you didn't get out there tonight, I was going to be very angry. We had to make a visit to your house. I'm like, okay. It's like you have these friends that hopefully it could be a lifelong thing. And then my kids are friends with them, and it's a cool thing that we have such a close knit group of bands. There's about 5 bands that everybody they're tight. It's like a family. We like hanging out. There's like we just have a good time.
And that's
it's
the other
cool.
thing. That's the
other
thing about going out to see you guys. So like, then you can go like the other bands. If they're not playing gigs, they're there to see you guys and then support.
It's awesome. It really is. It's so cool because it's just like the support. Like I've never seen that before in a way. Before all this, and like once you go out, there it is, Jake.
And there's your
We're
support.
Like, there. And specifically like when we started playing there.
She's
really,
dancing.
She helped us with those connections. If it
Of
wasn't for her, we
course.
wouldn't meet 'em.
Yeah,
We
no.
talked about it last time,
Yeah.
Awesome.
and I think it is crazy the community of music and live musicians in the area is something that from the outside, not being from around here, I had no idea something like that even existed. But then to see it is like, wow, it's not just 1 or 2 bands. It's a whole community of people that come together for each other.
Exactly.
Kev, you got to hear this. As I've been talking to people, like we're talking to the bands. This all happened at the same time.
Mhm.
Like these bands were not all tight. We weren't all tight. It all happened at the same time. Former Strangers, Ray and Colette, the Junkies. Who else?
I feel like Atomic
Former
Bomb.
Strangers. I said Former
Yeah,
Strangers.
former
right?
strangers. Yeah.
happened with She-Fest.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
getting.
she
Because
does,
look, the other night we're at the Eagleville, right? So, sorry, Ange, I'm going to do this to you, right? And these 2 girls were at the bar. You were talking to them, and I just put my arm. See this lady here? I said, this is the reason why we're here. She don't walk into her coffee shop, we don't get playing again. And then we made Mike Natalini, Colette and Ray, Lynn, Bill Bostic, Ron, CJ, and all them. That all came through that coffee shop. And like that's our crew. That's our clique now. This is how it is. This is how we're going to be rolling going forward. And it's just a cool thing that all that happened at one shot. Like Mike Natalini wasn't tight with Bostic. Like they got together. No, he told me that. Mike told me that. So and I'm like, wait, that's who wised me up on it. He was like, yo, he said this all happened at the same time, cuz. And that's we're lucky to be a part of that. It's a I'm telling you, the musicians are good. They have a lot of experience, and they're not afraid to hand it down to us.
It kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about like respecting not necessarily the greats, but like just people
Going forward.
just that have done it for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, all those bands have been around for like longer than you guys,
Yeah,
and,
long time.
and they're all local.
Junkies have been around for like what, 15
They're
years, 13,
12 years,
12.
10 or 12 years.
And I just feel like they all like have supported us so much. Like even when we were making like the transition or whatever, like obviously for people, it's one of those things like, okay, like how are we gonna do this? What are we gonna do? Whatever. We had our buddy Mike Yasich help us out, and we call him Uncle Mike. Like
Yeah, that's our guy.
he's
Oh
a
my, why? Love that guy.
yeah, we love Mike, and it's like it's so sweet. Like he's like, yeah, whatever you guys need, whatever you guys want. Ange and Jay always like, yeah, whatever. Like we had an idea to play an acoustic gig. Ava like we're like, hey Ava, you want to help us out for New Year's Eve? No problem, got it. I was sick. She's like, they're like, let's do the Screwballs game. I'm like, I don't know, like have Ava, yes, got it done. Like to fill in, like, and
Nice.
not competition, nothing like that. It's just so like, just a genuine friend helping friend, and it's just so sweet, and we feel so loved and supported.
Well, it's awesome that that's your girlfriend, but I mean, she how many, oh, was I not supposed to say that?
Oh, man.
Oh, all right.
If anybody didn't.
I mean, it's pretty
Right,
crazy that you
Joe did.
both have Avas,
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah, Chuck and Joe are both dating Ava's.
which I'm sorry, older ladies that love you guys. Like, I'm looking around, and there was this lady next to me sitting, and I was like, oh, she started talking to me. I'm like, do you know them? And he's like, oh, yeah, good friends with them. I love these boys. I'm like, all right, well, it's not talking about Russ. She was all over you guys.
Better looking than our father.
Maybe you
so.
should. Maybe you should.
That's facts. Get all from
Maybe-
my
Okay,
mom.
they get it all from my wife. Okay,
Mhm.
I can,
Maybe cut the part where you said they're dating people. And stop people coming out to shows.
It's all right. They know.
The worst
they
was
know.
when we started, like when we were younger, and dude, just people I wasn't used to anything yet, and people would just come up and like they'd be drunk and like these women, and all of a sudden they try to touch my guitar, and I was like, yo, like you are not about to touch
one
my
no-no.
guitar. And I was like giving them.
It's a big no-no.
That's a no-no.
That's when Chuck turns into like Charles.
Like you are not about to break my prized possession or even touch it. Like, that's my stuff, dog. That's a violation of privacy.
Back to the people like people like Ange, like she's always front and center. She's taking pictures for you guys. She's videoing, and that's kind of like I see you guys everywhere, not just from all of your pages, but when other people post and tag, and that's kind of the thing that's getting you guys out there. That's super
Yeah.
helpful to you.
But it is more than that. It's more than the band and Facebook and all that. You know, so my daughter Cecilia has a couple health issues, and you know, Stan, I'll be down at CHOP. We can be there in a minute. And last year was rough there for her a little bit. They're all there. Had nothing to do with music. Nothing to do with music, and that's what I'm talking about.
And it's almost one of those things. It's not like, oh, Cece's sick. It's like, what's up?
What
Like-
can we do?
Like
Yeah.
it's like,
Where am I helping you?
Yeah.
How
What do you need?
but I feel like it's like
And
they.
it's real. Like,
No,
what do
it's
you
for
need?
real. It's for real. And that's see, these guys are younger than me, right? Obviously. Hey, Captain Obvious. Dun, dun, dun. And as you know, as we creep up in age, you start to realize, you know, your time is valuable. Your time is, and others are. And when people, they can get their money back, they can get their material back, they can get everything back, but they can never get their time back. And when someone invests their time in my family, I'm like, I got it. I understand. Thank you. That shows me more than them cracking me off a $50 bill. You know what I mean? It shows who they really are, because you can never get your time back. Your time is gone. It's gone. So it just means a lot to me that with the band that, you know, we have our ups and downs, and, you know, we've had all these different issues over the years. But I wouldn't change that, because look what we've been blessed with. If we didn't have all that, we wouldn't be having this crew that's like an extended family.
And when you're talking about charitable and being charitable, like Ange is probably the pillar of this community, bringing everybody together. I mean, every other week she's doing something for other people. At sometimes at detriment to herself. Like right now, she's got what's the thing she's doing?
Cornhole
Yes,
tournament.
the cornhole
Sunday
tournament.
Fun
The
Day.
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday
or
Fun
whatever.
Day,
The
cornhole
Sunday
tournament.
Fun. Is that right? Yeah, Sunday
Yeah.
Fun.
Coming up April.
April
date?
21st, I believe.
Yeah.
Fun fact, we're actually all volunteering.
Yeah.
So
All
Awesome.
volunteering.
you'll
so.
get to see our beautiful faces.
All right.
I'll double
gonna be a
check
good
that.
time.
Maybe 3 of the beautiful days.
Yeah. and-
Or
Up at the Sunnybrook Ballroom.
Yep. Yeah.
That's another guy, Soul Joel.
the best.
He came in. We asked him like out of the blue, just about a sign, and I was like, "By the way, like I got beers in the garage if you want to come on this podcast that you don't know anything about." And then he hits up a few months later and comes and hangs out with us.
Yeah.
Just a real regular guy.
Yeah.
And now he's just getting bigger and bigger and
He's
bigger.
doing a lot of good work.
Yeah,
there.
I
Yeah.
just played there on Friday with Ava.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was cool.
it was awesome.
Yeah. I didn't mean that. I was just saying. Just,
No, no.
just not to go into that. Just saying that I was just there and I just.
Yeah.
Back
Was
at the
there.
bar, you play the big.
The
room.
Gatsby. Well, we played the big room before, but this time we played at the Gatsby
Like in the
bar.
bar
Yeah,
area.
yeah. That's good. It's a cool spot. They should have like bands in there. That's like
It's
a really.
big. It's
a really nice
bigger than
area.
most of the bars.
Yeah, and it's
it's
like
open.
very spacious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like when you guys are playing at these like little bars, like it's so impressive, especially you because you do a lot of movement and you singing. Like you're in such confined spaces, like, and people are right on top of you. It's impressive not only your guys' musical skill, but also that you're able to do it in such small spaces.
You know who that
Tripping over
Gotta
wires.
get done.
comes- You know where that comes from?
Yo, my
Your
mom.
mother.
Yeah.
Because
Show must go on.
Well, when you have 10 kids, you know you got to make use of every space.
It's got to get that shot in. Okay. Not like, look, my wife is, you know, she's still worship director for our little side worship group, And for years, you know, I've been at it with my wife playing music. She's the one who got me started. And there's just a professionalism because she comes from the theater. You know, she knows about blocking. She knows about stage presence, you know, lighting. And
She's doing your sound, like I saw
Yeah,
her
yeah,
getting
yeah.
up multiple
Oh,
times,
man,
checking sound.
dude,
and
we would be nowhere without her.
I said to her, that's her consequence for having kids and forcing them to play music. Said now you have to do the sound.
And she said, "Don't bring her up." That's right.
Well, I mean, like she's just always there. She's always like
That,
doing
and
her thing, helping you guys out.
Always.
that's the great thing about it. Like, you know, it's a good setup. And yeah, we couldn't do it without her.
And then every time I've got to help your mom focus her camera and remind her to record because she'll be there for 10 minutes and it's like, you didn't record. You're not recording anything.
Thank you, Stan. I
Yep.
appreciate it.
She's awesome. I love her too.
Oh yeah, she doesn't.
She's at every
She
gig,
don't
right?
miss a show,
Yeah.
man.
She's
It's kind of cool. And the band, our name, actually, just so you know, I'm sure everybody knows. If anybody knows my family, they know they used to call my dad Monty. And, you know, he played bass for about 40 years. 40. Long time. And these guys came up with that. Yes, it's an easy name to say. It is. Reflect.
Everybody says that. Like
It-
Joe Monty, Chuck Monty. Like, they
Yeah.
just say that because their name is... People think it's complicated to say, but it's not that hard. Just sound it out. But it's easier. Monty fits better on the drum. We'll say that.
Yeah, no, it's,
Yeah, and, you know, they're honoring my pop. You know.
it's a
and
good name. I like it. I mean, it fits. It's nice.
It's
I
concise.
like your yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Stands out.
when I get playing, you know, I'll be playing with these guys and I get emotional and, you know, me the weather changes, I start crying. But, you know, and I just often think what my dad would say if he was standing there with, you know, seeing this, because these guys were like his crown gem, his crown jewel. He would pick them up from school, you know, the whole nine, just make it easy. He loved being with these guys. And I'm sure he would say one thing to me. He would say, "Give me that damn bass. You don't know what you're doing. Let me get up here." You could hear him saying that, but I'm sure he would be very, very proud. You know, it's a cool thing, and it, you know, kind of helps me coping with, you know, missing him. You know, just to be able to do this with my kids, and they would do that for my dad. you
Well,
know.
just like you're honoring the people you're playing music of, you're honoring your family.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
It's awesome. And your in-laws, they're there all the time too.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Mom and
super
Papa,
supportive.
They're always there.
That's where we
That's your
practice.
practice.
Since day one.
Well,
Yeah.
it's that's where like the
That's
music was
where it
literally,
all
like,
started.
bred, literally right down in that basement, because when we were younger, and you know, like as we were coming up, they had their worship band, but they would be down there practicing all the time, and we would just be upstairs running around. But we would sit there with Mom and Papa. Well, Papa actually played with them, so he was downstairs with it. But Mom would watch us, but we would sit there on the couches in the living room, and we would just listen to them play. And then, like, lo and behold, next thing you know, we're young, we get a little older, but then we start doing, like, these little shows downstairs, and, you know, we do different things, and then we keep getting older, and next thing you know, we just, you know, started playing music all together. And it's, like, just so cool how, like, it started there, and they started playing, and then, you know, we would listen, and then it just grew. It just grew. Our love for it just
Kind of
grew.
meant to be, you know.
Yeah.
One of those things. Yeah.
Like they'd be downstairs practicing, and we'd be upstairs with fake microphones, like just being stupid. So it's like you reap what you sow.
Yeah. Or
It's mom's
we would,
consequence.
yeah. Or we would sit on the steps. Mom would open up the door, you know, and we would just sit right on the step, like peek in and listen. And she'd be like, "Oh, you gotta come back up," you know. We'd sit there for like a couple minutes. Yeah, I remember that. A lot. So. Yeah. But yeah, Mom and Papa, great. Love them. They helped us.
We used to run around. We would have mass on Saturday night at the Malvern Retreat House for the family retreat, and then the next morning we would have it at Malvern again. Like, we'd be running like crazy every weekend for like 3 years. We did that, and like these kids were around that, you know, like that chaos. I tell you, maybe that's how they know how to pack them cars so good. I mean, they got that like a Tetris game.
Well, being with you guys like 2 times and helping it, like the loading the cars is always hilarious. Like you're just yelling at them and they're just being sarcastic and like, nah, it won't fit. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it.
Hey, you mean me and Michaela loading the cars? These two doing nothing?
Dude,
Nah,
I do-
Chuck's
I-
nah.
I do
All right, I meant you
Well, you-
doing nothing.
Well, you've got a
Someone
whole
needs
arm.
to
Chuck helps me.
supervise.
Yeah.
Someone needs exactly.
True,
Someone
you're
needs
not
to be-
wrong.
we getting hurt. You know, it's a work injury.
I mean, you've got like 10 people every time that are asking to help load your
Yeah,
cars.
nah.
See, the thing with that is like, oh, can I help you? Can I help you?
Mhm.
I'm thinking like, yeah, you can help, but if you drop that soundboard,
Like, you're paying for it.
you break your butt at homes.
Well, it's
No.
like Owen the other night when he was like loading your speaker. I'm like, I think he had too much to drink.
Yeah.
He threw the speaker in the car. We're all like, Owen. He's like, what? I didn't do anything. We're like, you literally just threw it in the trunk. He's like, nah. It's like so funny.
That's why I hate people touching my stuff, man. That's why I'm always like,
appreciate it.
We appreciate the
it. We
help,
love
but
it. We love
it's
it.
hard to like they don't know how to break everything down. So it's like once everything's in a case, that's what I was telling them the other night. I was like, just wait till I put everything in a
Well-
case, then it's easier. Like trying to
Everything has a home.
yeah,
Not
like
everyone knows the home.
Yeah.
So like, it's like even wrapping the wires.
yeah, I was just about to say.
Ever since
wrapping-
we're little,
wrapping
it's
an
like,
XLR cable
no,
is an art.
you need to wrap it correctly because if you don't wrap it correctly,
Exactly.
the wire's gonna break. So it's like we're like 5 years old. We're like, no,
But
not
that's
right. Like, all right,
That's
do it
another
again.
big thing that we
Like,
learned.
but it's
though.
like we're so like my dad saying like my mom had a professionalism. Like we're very particular about how we do things because my mom was very particular. So then
Exactly.
like we love when people are like, okay, like help. Love it, but it's like sometimes we're like, all right, just let us put it in the bag and then.
So
and
you
then
know where
can
that
take it.
came from? All right, Mick. I hope you don't get mad at me. John McCarthy. He's our guitar player for Bethany, right? And one time I was wrapping a wire. he stopped me in mid wrap. He was like, "Don't do that." He said, "Now just watch me and please replicate this." He goes, these XLRs are expensive, and that's how I learned because I was like, yeah, you know. Dude, I thought he was gonna beat me up. Like, you know, it's like my first
That's
couple
why I
months
don't do
playing
it.
with him, you know, it was John Mack. But it's good, you know. He taught me how to do that, you know.
yeah.
And that it got passed down. We all did it, you know. We all learned how to do it in our worship group, and it got handed down to them because, look, we should be able to take care of the equipment. You know, you don't have to be replacing equipment a lot. The natural wear and tear is going to cost you, not just wrapping them. Yeah, you know.
I still don't know how to do it.
Well,
so.
like any of the great bands, you got to put in the work yourself. You can't
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
can't be a band and just go right to having people set up and take it down.
And
for
that's
you.
the other part about being like a musician. People don't understand that. Like when you're playing out and do different things, like that equipment is just as important as practicing and doing this and playing your guitar and entertaining. Like if you don't have any of that, you're screwed. You know what I mean? And it's like we learned all that. Like we're saying like about people passing stuff down to us. Their whole band, their whole group, like being at Bethany practices and all that. Like John McCarthy, John Barrett, Ken, they all very particular about how we set it up, how to do it down, and we would sit there and they taught us how to do it, and like we learned how to be like a full musician in a sense, and like even when I would be with Ken, right, when I started playing, he taught me how to play guitar, and he taught me like, okay, like this is how you got to set up your guitar. He first practice, these are your wires, this is how you're gonna put it through, like you got to put it through your pedals a certain way, and he taught me all like the mechanic stuff. And then he showed me how to play. Like, he wanted to do that first because all that is so important to your sound and how you do it. So,
Unlike me, when he got a hold of me, it was like he had just started playing with us at Bethany, and it was like 2002. And like the second practice, he pulled me and said, "Look, man." He said, "Where's your cable?" I said, "I don't have one. I used one from the bin." He goes, "Where's your tuner?" I said, I tune off the piano." And he was like, "Look, dude." He said, if you're going to do this professionally, and he took the time to say, look, you got to get your own equipment, have backup equipment. You can't depend on the group for this. You know, if you're going to be in, get yourself a good amp. Get good wires. Get a tuner. I mean, you do want to sound in tune, right? And he didn't lay me out. He just had he had the love to tell me the right thing to do. Kind of like what he did with Chuck. But, he made me, Russell Montalbano, he made me the musician that I am. Ken did. For Ken Yoder, they call him Uncle, and his wife Joanna, Aunt. because they're like that's like my brother, and he taught me so much about music and how to just be prepared and always think just a little bit a step ahead. You got extra strings. You may want to pack the other bass. How many basses you got? Maybe you want to put another bass in the car if something goes down. He always had me thinking of because you want to be there for your bandmates. You want to be. You don't want to. You don't want to be the bad cog, whatever that link in the chain that breaks to hurt the team.
And stuff could happen like out of your control.
Yeah.
Like
How
if
many
I
times has Chuck broken
yeah,
strings?
like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
stuff like that, broken strings or
Or headstocks off of.
oh or
Guitar balls, brakes, yeah.
that
Oh, no.
all kinds of stuff.
It's the worst. Oh my gosh, my heart dropped that gig. I was trying, like, we were setting up, and I tried to just put my guitar around my mom, like, like, just picked it up with the stand and put it around, and then I dropped it. I turned around next to you and go, boom.
It wasn't like like put
Like,
in
it wasn't
right,
put-
like
put on right.
it didn't
Yeah.
sit right.
Yeah.
Just fell on itself. We were all like,
And I just like the life just got like sucked out of me. Like you could just see it. I was so sad.
You're
sitting in the
terrible.
car. Yeah. But then like that happened. Yeah. Like it's a kid or something.
like Lassie. He was Please come back. Please come back.
But
Yeah,
then it was
no,
like,
that was
after
rough.
that, it just like a top of events. Like I came back in, and next thing you know, like my pedal board was jacked up. I had a wire, like the wire
Yeah.
wasn't working, like a wire broken. I was like, how am I going to play this gig? And next thing you know, I just had to like improvise on the spot.
That's how you learn. That's
It
the
was
best way I
it was
learn.
bare bones, but we got through it.
yeah.
So funny.
Well, that's part of the, like she said, the professionalism. Like, that's why people book you guys. That's why people are paying for you to come play.
Yep.
Because you guys are professionals.
I guess you would say.
I guess you would say.
By definition, I guess.
Yeah, it's all about cutting your teeth, and instances like that make you a better musician because then you got to think on the fly. But it's better not to think on the fly and be prepared.
Yeah.
But if there's a jam where you break strings on two basses or something goes down electronically or
Figure it out.
then you got to figure it out, and that's part of it too. Also, piggyback on what Chuck was saying about the sound, the pedals, and all that. That in itself, your tone in itself is a science, and that's where Ken wised me up on opening my ear. Some songs call for a real warm bass. Your Motown songs are that warm, thumpy bass. And then you got Geddy Lee, who's a genius, who I don't even know how we're going to replicate his sound. I got to go buy a pedal. His pedal, Geddy Lee's pedal, to tweak my sound. So there's a science that you could get lost when it comes to guitar and bass, sitting, tweaking with your different sounds to be creative, to make, because with the song, yes, you want to make it as close as you can to the recording, right? We want to make it so the people that are dancing say, "Man, I heard that on the radio," But you also want to make it your own, and you want to learn how these guys are doing it. How did they do it? It's trial and error. How did they get that tone? Or how's he playing? Is he playing it with a pick? Is he playing it with his fingers? So all that's a science, and that's like another. It's not just learning the songs, not just practicing with the band. It's another part of your time trying to figure it out, searching YouTube or looking through instruction manuals, and then putting it through your amp, trying to figure it out. There's a science to it, and that there's a part of that too. Like where I'm not the most proficient playing crazy bass lines, I have an affinity for the tone, so that makes up for where I lack in my skills. So it's a cool thing. Whatever, you get what I'm saying.
I feel like that's like
Yeah, I believe it.
very much part of being a musician, whether you're a singer, drummer, bass, guitar player, whatever you're playing. Like, it's part of like your art. Like you're figuring out what is what is your style and how you like to portray your sound, or even singing. Like you hear different people sing, okay, like how do they get that raspy sound? How do you do this? How do you get that tone? Or like, okay, like they're running like this, like, or the way that they even articulate the words, like you have control of that when you're playing the instrument or you're singing or whatever you're doing. Like it's kind of finding, like that's where it gets creative when we do these things, because no one's gonna sound just like the recording, because it's just not feasible. So it's like putting your own spin on it is such a cool way to have that outlet of creativity when you're doing stuff in a setting like this.
That's why the greats don't have no real job because they use all their time in refining their craft. Like every hour either goes to writing, recording, learning their tones, practicing, tweaking with things. Like I could see how time consuming it is. And I think with our crazy schedules, these two are in school, Joe's working, I'm doing my thing, right? How do we get these songs done? Like it's almost a blessing that we get them sounding so good. Yeah, and I'm not saying we're great. I'm just saying we're lucky that we have a chemistry we could get it done because it takes a lot of time and effort and what do you call it? Like refining your skills, man. This stuff is hard. I wish I could do it for a living. Nothing. Do nothing.
Right? Wish we all could.
It wouldn't work out real well, but
I just saw it was a studio bassist. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was going over his bass and like everything on it, and there's like, what's that switch there? And he goes,
Oh yeah, that's
this
good
is like
video.
this is when producers ask me to change up the sound, I flip that switch and I just like move my fingers a little bit. And I
Yeah.
play exactly like I just did, and they're like, "Oh, it sounds so much better." The switch does nothing.
do nothing. That's Lee Sklar.
Bless
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big bearded guy.
Yeah. It was just like that's just so producers think I changed the way I was playing, but I didn't change anything.
Can't say we never did that before. Oh, lower down. Oh, okay. Yeah, just
For a measure or two.
yeah, just keep it rolling.
Because it just doesn't sound the same. Like, I don't know. It's tough. Like, when people are telling you what this or that, like, it's not you in a way. So it's just like, man, like you're saying with the bass thing, like, how is he going to switch what he's playing when, like, he's recording a song probably that he wrote, and he's like, he wants to put his own spin on it. Yeah.
But that's another thing. Like, to your point, Chuck, it's all personal preference. Like, there's probably so many people out there that are like, oh, they're amazing. Like, I love how they sound. Other people, not so much. But not like the goal is to make everyone love us and, like, do the best that we can do. But it's, like, one of those things, like, you see a picture hanging that a painter did, and you're like, oh, this is stupid. It's, like, all how people interpret it. And it really is.
Calling this painting stupid?
No, I wasn't even pointing at it.
Don't worry, I didn't paint it.
You should get a job.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it's one of those things that it's all like you just have to like it sounds corny, but it's you gotta. People are always gonna have something to say. You just have to do what makes you happy and what you like. And working as a band, like as a unit, it's pretty cool that we can like compromise. And like my dad said, chemistry, it's like we all are kind of on the same page of like, oh, we like how this sounds. So it's nice that like we all are on the same wavelength of we want to do this. It's a very centered goal and like focus makes it so much easier because it's hard when someone's like, well, I don't like this and I don't like, it's just hard to we're blessed to be on the same page. I feel like.
And for the most part, we are.
Yeah.
We have our little scraps, because listen, these guys are creative. We're all creative. That's music in itself. Like Michaela's saying, like someone could hear our stuff and say, "Man, that's genius," and the other guy would be like, "Man, these guys suck," because art is subject to interpretation, right? So they're creative. I'm creative. I have ideas. They have ideas. Sometimes we just flows, man. That worked out. We didn't even talk about this. This worked out great. Then other times it's like, well, I don't like that. Well, that don't sound right. It's coming to the middle to have not to make people happy, but to make a product that sounds appealing. That could be challenging because this is all subjective. Because what sounds great to us might not sound great to the next guy. So that's part of taking chances. But people do it and they're successful at it. So why don't you we try. We're creative. We just try it. It's not a perfect science.
Each of you have your own little parts. Like he'll do his thing, drummer, and then you do your song. That's like I don't know what song it is, but it's almost perfect for you. Where you do the long belt, and you're just like, wow,
I think
you're
Whole
wide
Lot of
open.
Love.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Greta Van,
Greta.
the
Yes.
Safari song.
Like,
Sorry.
that is just you.
That's
Like,
right.
You do make that song you. Yeah. It's impressive.
Well, like you said, with the chemistry and getting together for practice and everything, being family, I think, probably makes it a little easier because time.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
But
It depends.
I don't.
It's
Well,
pretty hard to-
Sometimes.
Oh, I would think a little bit because maybe you want to blow off practice, but it's like I can't blow off practice and then sit down at the same dinner table with everybody.
Mm.
Oh no!
I'm like, guys, I'm not coming. Like, no, I'd say it's the opposite, where I feel like we're very honest with each other. So it's like, it's a great thing because we're so honest.
And we
But,
get
you
over
know,
stuff quickly too.
Yeah, like
So
it's just like whatever.
we curse
Like
each
I'll be
other
like,
out and
no,
be like,
I'm not
"Let's
doing
go."
that. And then they'll be like, you're so annoying, like whatever. And then next day it's like,
I-
oh hey, how you
I was
doing?
wrong.
You just gotta hash it out. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like you're. It's alright. At the end of the day, like you're family. So it's like if we butt heads, it's like you can't take it too personal, but you gotta also take the criticism. Like it's like a give and take. But then
Here's the thing.
you just keep
We
moving
all
forward.
want the best for each other. So it's one of those things where it's like, obviously, we're not always going to be on the same page. When we have disagreements, it's like we don't hesitate to be honest with one another because it's like we genuinely are like, we feel whatever, if we're bringing it to the band, like we want the best for the band. Like, why don't we do this? Like, do it this way. And it's like, we all know we all want the best for each other and we're all supporting each other. So it's not one of those things where, it's like, well, what the heck? Like, I want to, like, it's just, we all trust and we all know that we all have the same goal. We all have the same focus. And it's like, all right, it's easier to understand where that person's coming from because at the end of the day, we're all family. We all want the same thing. So it's pretty cool it's like brutally honest, but I'd rather have it that way than any other way because like, I can't operate where it's like, I don't know. Like, honesty is the best policy.
Me
It's
too.
Just,
The-
I love it.
I could be
think I love
difficult.
that we just-
me too. I mean, the
I'm
tr-
very strict sometimes.
So who's the most difficult then? Is it?
Me?
Oh, you say you? Oh,
I say me.
listen,
probably.
Listen,
I don't know. I can be difficult. I like things. I'm particular.
Okay.
We'll say that.
you know,
I don't know.
and
Yeah,
like
I
from the
agree with
father's
that.
perspective, like, so we are brutally honest. So when it comes at me, I go into dad mode. I'm like, yo, dog, you can't be talking to me like that. I don't want to hear that. And then I walk away. I leave. We end the practice. I go in the car. I'm like, damn, they're right. So it takes a lot for me to step back, and I battled that for a long time. But I'm trying to get better at it because I'd rather have a little bit of that tension and them giving it to me because they give a crap about me than not having the time at all with them. You know,
Well, like you said last time, like you guys say you play some of your best gigs like after you have an argument or
oh,
something.
some of the greatest ones are after the argument, man. We're like
Yeah.
coming with the thunder after the argument. But it's
I don't feel like we really argue that
no.
much.
Listen,
Nah, we
listen,
don't. We don't really.
No,
we
it is.
just
We have
fight
a,
like.
Like it's just
Like-
funny. Like,
And
like
we
cat
have-
here's the difference.
fights.
I can say to Joe, like, let me think of an example.
Probably plenty to choose from.
Let me choose wisely. No, like he'll say something like, "You're late," and I'll be like,
No, I don't usually say that
"What do you?"
I'm usually
Anymore,
notorious
he
for
had
being
to
like,
We're at
"Oh, we
this.
need to do this." Like I just have a tendency to be like, "Oh, we got to do this.
Or-
we have to do this," instead of being
Joe
like,
has- I feel like Joe has a lot of ideas that he's very
great
strong
ideas.
opinion. He has a very strong opinion about. Like,
But it all goes back to us being ambitious, you know? Like, but Joe wants to be ambitious. He wants the best for the group. Mikhail wants to be ambitious. She wants to have the best for the group. Like, we all want that. So sometimes we all butt heads, but
there's a
But
truth to
what
that.
I'm saying is, I could be like, Joe, that's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, that's probably a conversation we had. I'll be like, he'll be
When I
like,
see that coming, I'm like, I think I need the restroom. You hear me trample up the steps. I'm like, I'm not getting in the middle of this one.
but then it's like they'll go back and forth for a little bit, but then it's like
And then
just
it's
calm,
fine.
It's just fine, you know.
Let me
But you just hash it
But
out.
we usually just like
Hash it
laugh. Like if I
And-
say something like that, I'm not I'm not really that serious. It's just funny.
And all of that's happening, and Chuck is just like, I'm not going to say anything about playing with my
Yeah.
teeth.
Wow,
Chuck-
I'm just
no,
going to
Chuck
do
just,
it.
Chuck just turns up
No,
his volume a
nothing.
little bit and
This
just.
is what happens. This is what happens. I'll say something and disagree with Joe, Or if he has an idea and I'm like, Joe, that's so stupid. Then Chuck would be like, yeah, that's so stupid. Just to
like go under their skin a little bit, just to mess with them, because like
Instigator.
feed off that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to
definitely
have
over
none of
there,
that.
right there.
I don't know.
I think it's hilarious, honestly.
Sometimes
It is. Listen, it's because
It's like a TV show.
yeah,
we should have a TV show.
If he recorded it.
oh my gosh, the gist of it is like Joe and I always get into it. We just do. That's just how we do it. But he knows I love him, and I know he loves me, and me and Joe, since he's 10 years old, playing the drums, we've always been locked in. I don't have to think. This is going around the thing, what I'm trying to say, but I never have to think of where I'm going with Joe. He's like a metronome. He stays right on it. And he knows me. You know me so well. You know my frills. You know what I'm going to play. You know what the accent. How many times do you do that without even thinking? It's because it's natural. But so there's a blessing in all that craziness. So I'm close with my children, obviously. I'm close with my kids. There was a time I wasn't so close with these guys, right? I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing, being able to be so close with them. So sometimes, I don't know, they've never said it to me, but they don't really see me as their dad. They see me as their contemporary, their friend, you know. And we let loose on each other sometimes. We just do. It happens. It happens.
Well, I feel
But
like
after
it's
that,
just
by
a
the way,
normal thing.
wait.
Okay.
After that, it's not like I ain't talking to you no more. You know, we don't have to say sorry all the time. We know. We just try to move forward and not dwell on these things. We're getting better at it. But then when we kind of like don't go at it, we're like, you know, what's happening here? Somebody sick? You know, like
Nobody's yelled at anybody in 10 minutes. What's happening?
Look, it's not all the time. I don't want to go all the way down that road. I'm just saying we're so close and we're together so much that it happens. And anybody that says it doesn't, they're full baloney. They're full baloney.
Well, here's the thing. We're a big Italian family. We are so opinionated. We're raised to be this way. Like there's not really preventing it. And it's not like malicious. It's just honest. That's the whole thing. It's not malicious. It's honesty.
And you know what? I have a good friend in New York, and he says, "Yo, bro." So what's that? He says, "The truth will set you free, but at first it'll piss you off." You know, I'd rather you tell me the truth than string me along and hurt me worse. I'll take the hurt up front, get butt hurt, and get over it, and then try to change me. When I was battling my weight, my Uncle Russ, God bless him, right? I didn't see him for a while. I was up about 275. I was pretty good, right? He goes, "Yo, you're getting fat." Not, "Hey, how you doing? How you been, Russ?" I'm like, "That's son of a gun." And then I went home and was like, "Damn, he was right." Like, I'd much rather take that in any situation. I want the truth. And it's going to hurt. It does hurt. Sometimes we don't want to hear, "Dad, you ain't playing it right. It doesn't sound right." What's my first thing? I'm defending myself. But this is the dynamics of a band in general, not just a band with your family. So you got to be pliable. You have to be able to take criticism and let it roll. That it's hard, man. It's hard. But it's because I don't want to let these guys down in a way. You know, I've let them down enough in their life. Really, I'm serious.
That is your running theme is like you are always trying to help your family. And it shows a lot. Like a lot of any conversation I ever have with you, it's always, you know, about them.
Well, what did I do right in life, Stan? I mean, let's look at it right.
Looks like you did pretty good, dude.
No, the only thing I ever did right in my life is my relationship with God and my wife and kids. That's it. I would, you know, by maybe the world standards, I might be looked at as a failure, or not. Maybe didn't hit the points, but I hit the points that count. And this matters more to me than anything. That, you know.
And it shows. It really does. I mean.
Sorry, I think I'm going to be done.
Yeah.
I had enough.
He's right at the precipice of crying. I'm just like, dude.
It's all your fault.
You'll be the first one crying on this show.
That's why I'll give it to you.
We want to thank our mom, our sisters, Mama Pop Up,
Pop up.
Mama Roe,
Yep.
Pop Up Joe, Uncle Tom.
Tom, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's the best. Another
Who else?
mentor.
Ange J, Jake. Shout out Jake. We love you. Ken, Joanne. Bethany people. Music people in the community.
Mike Nat,
Like that,
Junkies,
yeah.
Former
Gossip.
Strangers, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, we just love them
Apple,
all.
got to shout out our man Apple. Mike Apple, Ray and Colette, yep.
Yeah.
So many good people.
Yeah.
Just crazy to think of that.
Ava D. Did we
Ava
say
D.
Gotta thank Ava D. Shout out Ava D. Everybody go see Ava D. She's great. Go
Yeah,
see
I mean,
all the
she's
bands that we talked about.
She's
They're
playing
all
what
great.
twice a day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
Crazy.
yeah, she's wild. And then comes to your guys' show, and then he'll sing a song with you guys.
Always.
Yeah.
But
Anything, Kev?
Yeah,
All right.
Next gigs.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you get, throw some plugs out there. Where can people see you?
so next gig we have is Creekside on the 29th, right?
Yep.
Playing 8 to 12. And
Yep.
then we have April 5th at
Peppers.
Peppers.
I
What time
think
is
it's 8:30 to 11:30. See, this is where Ava comes in. She just remembers everything. So
And then we have the Water Tower April 13th.
yeah, that's gonna be the.
That's the big. That's
8
the
to
big
12.
show. That's
Yeah,
the
I
one
think
people
that's
want to
the.
be at.
I don't
the
know
Water
what the
Tower.
time. I
Water
gotta check
Tower,
the
yes.
time. But that is the one you want to be at.
And
That's
that's
what
a
I'm gonna say.
family friendly show.
Yes.
Bring your kids, and that's a great venue. There's so much action going on
8
there.
to 12 too.
And
on that one.
As long as they got beer, I'll be there.
Yeah, they got two nice bars
I
there.
know, but
I
That-
read.
that'll be a nice one.
Where can they find you? Instagram, Facebook,
Ins-
TikTok. Where we're at?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're on Twitter, YouTube, pretty much everywhere.
The band is it at
Yeah.
the band Monty for all of
At
them.
the I believe so.
Have the band Monty.
All right.
Definitely
And-
keep those shorts up.
Yeah,
Those-
Chuck out
those
here.
little Things you guys are doing.
Maybe- Oh, that would be
Ooh,
crazy.
live-
Oh,
live stream.
that would
Yeah,
be
you
crazy.
should, definitely.
Let us know if that's what you would want to see.
I don't like that. I think
That
that's
could
the
be
stupidest
interesting.
thing I ever heard.
That could be interesting.
Monty Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Oh,
Reality
there's
of
our ideas
reality of
are
the
already
band.
flowing.
Well,
like
what's
that.
what's the date of that? I'm not going to be available.
Oh man, I'm sick. Oh my back.
like body cams or something.
Oh my gosh.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we would have a good time with that.
All right. Well, thank you again. This is another episode of the Express Lane Podcast with
Kevin Stan,
and
band
Monty.
Monty. That was awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Peace.